Hey YouTube, it's been a few weeks since I've made a video, so I thought I ought to do a bit of an update. Plenty's been happening here um, over the last few weeks. So the temperatures in the pond are really dropping down now, and the heater, I'm just using the heater now just to try and sort of bring that down in a sensible way rather than it being peaks and troughs as the temperature goes up and down with day and night basically. All the fish are fine, and the pond has been running okay. It's other than a slight blip last night with a power cut, which then knocked the heater out. Everything's been fine. I've got made quite a bit of progress on the automation side of things and the kind of alerting piece, and I'll show that in a bit. It's already saved me a couple of times where last night with the power cut, it knocked the heater out and knocked the pump out as well, and it was one of the alerts that made me aware of it this morning. I'll show you a picture of the pond. I bought some polycarbonate to make covers out of. At the moment I've literally just sort of chucked it over the top of the pond because I was going away and I didn't want any jumping fish rather than anything else. Here's a shot of the pond with the polycarbonate I chucked over. Like I say, this isn't permanent, but I didn't want the fish to be jumping out of the pond while I was away for a few days, so this helped that and also kept some of the wind chill off. It's 10mm thick twin wall polycarbonate. I've got enough to cover all the edges. I need to get those plants out so I can make the cover up properly. I had to swap in the last video. I had to swap the pump on the RDF because that one seized up, and in doing that I went to a smaller kind of more manageable pump size, but that has meant that I've had to change the jets in the RDF. So I've done that. I probably won't show any footage of it. It's not that interesting, to be honest with you. But I contacted a company that they just make jets, and they spec'd some up for me, and they're working brilliantly now. So from a filter point of view, I haven't had to do anything for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it's just run itself, and it's been great. I do need to, now the temperature's dropping, I do need to insulate some of the pipe work, so I'll get onto that in the next couple of weeks. But what I'll do now is I'll show a clip, just an overview of the kind of the alerting automation side of what I've done. I've implemented kind of downlink messages and hacked into one of my fish feeders so I can feed the fish remotely and also reset the RDF remotely. I've got another couple of channels, but I've got nothing on those yet, so I can show that. I did take photos of the process of doing it as well, just in case anyone's interested. Obviously it's a bit geeky, but I'll probably include that on towards the end of the video as well. But yeah, everything's going okay. I'm still just getting ready for winter, but it's fast approaching. So yeah. So I finished the automation project for the pond for now, and I just thought I'd give you a bit of a demo of it working. So what we've got here is the Cayenne dashboard that I've got set up, so you can see all the different temperatures for the pond, and you can do graphing. You can also do triggers. So this trigger here sends me a text message and an email if there's an error on the filter, and this one will also do the same if the temperature drops below a set point, so that way I can tell if the heater's working alright. But on the dashboard here, if I click this one here, it's just the feed, and then go on to the Things Network, you can see that it's queued a message going down back to the microprocessor. So it has to wait for another uplink. There it goes, for it to send it down. And if I go over here, you can see that it's received number 11, which is the feeding controller. You could, I don't know if you could hear it, the relay tripped inside, which now has tripped the feeder out on the pond. So anyone who's got one of these feeders will know that they aren't exactly fast. There we go. So that's that. So this is how I added the trigger to the fish feeder. So you can see the fish feeder with the wires coming out the side. I need to do a better job of clipping them. And here you can see inside, you can see the two wires that just go onto the circuit board here, either side of the switch. So whenever you've got a device where you've got a manual switch on it, you can just parallel across the switch, and that's where these wires lead out from. The relay board that I'm using to control things, so that takes 3 volts from my microprocessor, and then it will flip these relays that can take up to 10 amps. Not that I would necessarily trust them for up to 10 amps, but you can see that I've mounted it, led the wires back through and hooked it up to the microcontroller. And here's just a shot of the temperatures. You can see that I'm slowly dropping down the temperature on the pond over a period of time, and I'll probably hold it around 13 before then dropping down as rapidly as I can do safely. I haven't decided what temperature I'm holding it at yet.